Hi friends, today we're gonna learn how to summarize a fiction text by including important story elements. Now, summaries are the main points of the text. It's what happens. And good readers use summaries to tell what happened in the text briefly, because it's really boring when you have to read everything again. It would take too long. Now let's practice by summarizing chapter 1 of Hatchet. Now, misconception alert. When we write summaries, we do not give our reader opinion. Only what the story is about. Do we give our opinion, class? No, that's right, we don't. I hope you did a disagree sign. Now, I'm gonna make this mistake on purpose. Your job is to watch out for my misconception, and I'll ask you at the end. Watch me do these steps and notice my good reader moves. And don't forget to watch out for my misconception. So, let's go over the steps. There are 3 steps. Show me with your fingers. That's right, 3. Now, step 1, I have to name the text and the text type. Well, I know my title is Hatchet by Gary Paulson, who's my author, and I always want to include my authors in the summary. And based on what I read yesterday, I know this is an adventure novel. I got my first part. Now I can write it down. In chapter 1 of the adventure novel, Hatchet by Gary Paulson. Step 1, check. Now I can go to step 2. Step 2, I have to name the key story elements. I gotta look for characters and setting. Well, let's read to find out. Brian Robertson stared out the window of a small plane at the endless green northern wilderness below. Ooh, Brian Robertson, I got one. All right, I'm gonna keep reading. It was a small plane, a Cessna 406, a bush plane, and the engine was so loud, so roaring, consuming, and loud that it ruined any chance for conversation. Not that he had much to say. He was 13, and the only passenger on the plane was a pilot named, what was it, Jim or Jake or something? Ooh, a pilot! I got my second character. All right, now I gotta look for setting. Well, I know the setting is the when and where of the story, and I just read that he was over at the Canadian wilderness. All right, I got my setting. Now I gotta think, were there any problems in this chapter? Ooh, I remember at the end of the chapter, the pilot died. Oh my God, that must have been really scary. All right, I got step 2 done. Check. All right, now I'm gonna go to step 3. I'm gonna put all my thinking together and summarize the important events and details. And I gotta know that a good reader puts them in an order that makes sense. And some of you might remember, someone wanted, but, so, then. Someone, my character, wanted. What did they want? But, my problem. So, how did they try to solve the problem? And then the ending. Now that I know which order to organize my thoughts, I can write it down. In chapter 1 of the adventure novel Hatchet by Gary Paulson, Brian, my who, is on a plane. What? Flying over the Canadian wilderness when the pilot dies. Uh-oh, problem. Brian must be really cool and brave because he was on a tiny plane without any parents. Now, Brian is alone and really scared. Another problem. I don't know how he'll solve this problem yet. All right, you have 30 seconds to reread and figure out, is there something that doesn't belong here? Go!